for my audience out there, and I know some of you guys are tired of me doing reviews on pistols, rifles, pistols, rifles, pistols, and then rifles. But why don't we change it up and actually do a review on an actual Pistol Caliber Carbine? So, might as well get into it. What we're going to be talking about is the actual Flex series from Specna Arms, their 9mm Pistol Caliber Carbines. Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Airsoft Master. And today we're going to be talking about is the SA-FX01, or to make it short for the series of it, we're going to call it the Specna Arms Flex series of the Pistol Caliber Carbines. Now, for one thing that we know about with Specna Arms as a principle is the fact that their price is always going to be reasonable. And you'll find out basically how much these guys are going for once we go at the end of the video. But for now, let's go ahead and get in more in describing of the actual colors themselves that come in the variations of being the nice two-tone or the all blackout that you've seen out in front of me right here. Now, while we already talked about those, let's go ahead and get into more in depth with the actual rifle themselves. Of course, going with the front and working our way to the back, starting off with the actual outer barrel itself, being a full metal free-floating outer barrel in regards to it being the standard orange tip in the front, and again 14mm counterclockwise threading on the actual end of it. So if you want to put any nice suppressors or any tracer units, it is possible. Now, on the rail system itself, surprisingly enough, all around the rail on the end of it, you'll have is 2 slots of M-lock, except for the actual 6 o'clock position being 1 full slot right underneath the actual thing to put any foregrips, attachments like flashlights or anything else, and of course the top being standard, all the way being Picatinny for the 12 o'clock position. And of course, one thing that's also the benefit to it is the fact that the whole rail to the receiver is monolithic, so you can actually have so much real estate to actually put any flashlights, the optics itself for magnifiers, or even what's also nice is the actual is your front and rear backup sights just in case. Again, nice little extra things that comes in touch with the actual Specna Arms themselves. Now let's actually get into the receiver. Now, for one thing that you're going to know about the actual Flex series is the fact that they're always going to have the polymer all the way through for the rifle itself. And again, it's still rigid and everything else where it's going to be fine no matter what in the situation. If you want to throw it, or heck, even running over a car, it still would just be fine to take all the beating. Surprisingly enough, it's still good on that aspect. And as well to that, of course, like a normal, let's get into the AR controls. The fact that you're going to see on the left-hand side of the AR, you're going to have is your safe, semi, and full auto. But the best part about the actual PCC Caliber series of the Flex is the fact that you have a functioning bolt catch, which is a pretty nice basis of this compared to even the regular Flex rifles that we've seen out there. And of course, when we need to talk about ambidextrous, the best part about the Pistol Caliber Carbine has the actual paddle system to make it easy for you to swap out in between from left-handed to right-handed in regards to reloading, everything you would need. While we continue off on the receiver, let's go ahead and talk about the trademarks itself, knowing the fact that you have is the 9x19 caliber on here, as well as that the Specna Arms would give you is the actual QR code and serial number for your own rifle, which is pretty nice. Alongside with the receiver, one thing I do like for the actual more of this modern style look than like you would see it like on normal regular Pistol Caliber Carbines itself. Again, it's kind of very unique on that design aspect as well. And of course, the integrated actual trigger guard alongside makes it more aggressive in that aspect as well, to alongside with the actual lower receiver, which makes it the nice little touch Specna Arms did to make it more that modern look. Now that we already talked about basically the receiver, let's go into the actual in-depth detail of the gearbox itself, where the internals are located. Now, for one thing that we know, with the actual Flex series, it still follows the same aspects of using the Easy Spring Access that you'll see, also known as the ESA, where the spring can be changed out by removing the buffer tube out and changing it out using a 12-inch actual Phillips screwdriver to pull it out, and you can actually swap out the spring. If you're looking for a video for that, just basically follow the Flex series instructions that I show on the YouTube, which will be in the description down below. Now for the internals, again, we're going to continue off with that. The thing is that you'll come with your standard 18-1 gear sets, alongside is an 18,000K motor, to actually the same basis of the actual normal Flex series as well. And of course, the one thing that is also a plus for us is the fact that you'll still have is the rotary style hop-up that's inside, which is also attached to a 603 Type 4 barrel for better tight grouping and actual better accuracy. Now that we already talked about the internals, let's go ahead and talk about the stock. Now, for one thing I do like about this is the actual stock itself, where it's more of that minimalistic look, and it still has the main things that you would need. Shoulder padding to help actually keep it nice and tight. The fact that it's actually more room and real estate, so basically you're able to keep the rifle inside with no problem. And of course, you're going to still have is your standard 6-positional adjustment to help give you that right size to actually help make you have a stable aim and still that comfortable style. Now for basically the actual stock itself, we tested multiple things for the battery to fit in the actual buffer to see what would fit. Surprisingly enough, it would take is actually the 11.1 LiPo batteries like we tested out with like the Airsoft Con and even the Echo 1 LiPo batteries, and 1100 milliamps would fit just right into the buffer tube, as easy as it is. But Mike, can the actual gearbox internals actually withstand 11.1 LiPo? Well, surprisingly enough, we tested it with Specna Arms, and actually to verify it, it actually will last quite some time, and it's a pretty good basis for it as well. And the fact that the internals will be good. And the best part is, you can always upgrade it from there as well, since being the internal gearboxes to be as a standard as your normal version 2, you're able to actually upgrade it from the get-go throughout it later on when you actually want to do like the crazy upgrade builds, or even say a high speed or dual sector gear build on these guys. Hey, the world is your plethora. Now let's get into the magazine compatibility. But before we get into it, the SA-FX01 comes with the actual high cap magazine that's basically texturized with the S-Mag style versions, which is pretty nice as well. But the one thing that's also nice is in regards to the actual Flex series Pistol Caliber Carbine is the fact that it's actually compatible to most magazines that is actually used from the ARP9 from G&G. Surprisingly enough, like the actual AR9 from PTS will feed just fine with this. And as well to that, for more of an actual nice look that I like, yes, the actual G&G translucent 68 rounders will actually feed just fine as well, and actually still gives it that nice look all the way through with the rifle. Again, a very sleek design, and it still feeds with functionality. I'm using 11.1 LiPo battery and 0.20 gram BBs. So when we actually chronoed the rifle, one thing we noticed with the actual outdoor spring, we were looking around the 365 to 370 FPS in regards to the actual carbine themselves. But if you basically do need to change it out, the best part is of course, Specna Arms will always give you the actual 90 spring to basically make it from going from the 370 to more of the below the 350 FPS for your indoor or CQB type fields. So basically when you purchase your FX01 actual rifle, one thing it actually will come with itself is the actual, like I said, is the M90 spring to make it more indoor to outdoor. As well to that, you're going to have is your jamming rod to help clean it out in regards of actually unjamming the BBs or just maintenance and cleaning the actual inner barrel itself. Of course, they're going to love to actually show you guys what also products they have, but you actually bring in the QR code of the catalog themselves of what's coming out in 2023. You're also going to have is your actual online manual through the QR code to basically help out with troubleshooting and safety tips that you need in regards of your rifle. And of course, again, Specna Arms doing it nice by having the actual sticker system to flex of what rifle you're rocking. Now, in conclusion, or basically the final say of what do I think about the actual Flex series of the Pistol Caliber Carbines or the SA-FX01. Well, and the main thing I do like is the fact that it is true to keeping the actual reasonability, and at the same time, it does have the modern styles that I kind of like today. Again, M-LOK is still pretty good, and it's the modern type of reliable rail and super lightweight. The actual polymer system is still durable and still keeping it light to the T to help out even with beginner players who want to carry this and still be actually able to run through and cut the corners easy. And speaking about cutting corners, this rifle is still compact for CQB for like such as like places like N1 or even Tac City that's out here in my local field, and this would still be pretty good. I like the stock. I do like how the internals, the gear set itself is making it simple as using the quick chain spring guide. But the main factor, the one thing that I do like in comparison to any other Pistol Caliber Carbine is the price. For the Flex series itself during the time of recording is $180. Surprisingly enough, that is a really big deal in that reality. For comparison to such as the other things like the actual Edge 2.0 of the actual Pistol Caliber Carbine or even some of the other companies that is out there. But it's other ones that I would actually recommend, but at the same time, you can't also beat that price. But what do you guys think about it? Drop a comment below and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're looking for a product like these, go ahead and check it out at airsoftmaster.com. As for this episode, my name's Mike. I'll see you guys on the next time.
This video is brought to you by Airsoft Master.